Sir, in the last videos we covered very clearly what about exception handling keyword summary, what are various possible compile time errors related to exception handling, sir. Sir, before going further, one very important interview question I want to discuss, right? The most valuable important question. Okay, do you know, without this question you can't expect any Java interview. That much important question I am going to discuss. Take very special care, right? Sir, now what is that is, what is the difference between finally and finalize? Are you getting difference between finally and finalize? Sir, first one, what is final? What is final? Okay, observe that. Final is a access modifier. Are you getting what is final, sir? Final is a modifier in Java, just like static, abstract. Final is the modifier. Sir, final modifier applicable for classes, final class. Next, final is applicable for methods, okay, because final method, it is applicable for variables also. So final is applicable for classes, methods and variable. If a class declared as final, we can't create child class. Inheritance is not possible. We can't extend that class. Sir, this class implementation is the final. No one is allowed to extend this class, this functionality. No one is allowed to extend. So by mistake, if you are trying to create a child class for this final class, immediately compile method you are going to get, sir. Remember this one. So what is final class? Final, if a class declared as a final, we can't create child class for that. If we can't extend this class functionality by creating child class, inheritance is not possible. Similarly, if a method declared as the final, then we can't override that method in the child class. Remember, sir, parent class method implementation is the final. No one is allowed to override in the child class. Similarly, if a variable declared as the final, sir, variable is the final means what? No one is allowed to change. Final, then we can't change its value if the variable will become constant. Remember this one. So final class means we can't create child class. Final method means we can't override. Final variable means, can you please spell out, sir, what is the final variable? Final variable means we can't change its value. This is about final. In the modifiers concept I covered very clearly. I hope you may aware clearly, right? Sir, next, what is finally? Just now we covered, sir. Finally is a block associated with the try catch. Are you getting? So finally is a block associated with the try catch. Observe that. Can you please tell, sir, inside finally block, which code we have to take? Which code we have to take? By this time I hope you are very much aware, because we discussed a huge time on the finally block. Have you remember, right? Okay, so try, inside the try we have to take risky code. Inside catch block we have to take handling code. Are you getting? Handling code. Inside finally block we have to write the cleanup code. We require to write cleanup code, sir. So means that so inside finally block we have to write cleanup code, we have to write resource deallocation code. Are you getting? We require to write which code, sir? Resource deallocation code or cleanup code we have to write. So the main purpose of finally block is to maintain cleanup code, to maintain resource deallocation code. Next, what is the specialty of this finally block? Can you please spell out what is the specialty of finally block? Finally block will be executed always, irrespective of whether exception raised, not raised, handled or not handled. In any case, finally block will be executed, right? Okay, so what is final modifier? Finally block. Clear, sir? Now the next thing, sir, we have to talk about finalize. Are you getting? What is finalize? Finalize is a method. Remember this one. Finalize is a method. So it is associated with the garbage collector. I hope you people may aware. Of course, it's not required for certification, but anyway aware. So it is associated with the garbage collector concept. Suppose I have an object is there, sir. I have an object is there. Can you please tell, is this object eligible for garbage collection or not? Please confirm. Is it eligible for garbage collection or not? Yes, because this object not having any reference variable. If an object doesn't have any reference variable, this object is always eligible for garbage collection. Correct, right? Now, sir, garbage collector came, sir. Now observe this a bit very carefully, sir. Garbage collector came. Now the garbage collector saw this object, then the garbage collector felt very happy, because the reason is, what is the food to the garbage collector is useless objects only. By seeing this object, garbage collector felt very happy. Today I got food, I got biryani, something like garbage collector is going to feel very happy, sir. Then garbage collector came and it is dancing in front of this object, saying, "Hey garbage collector, away object, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to destroy you." Like garbage collector is going to convey for this object. Then automatically object is feeling very sad. This object starts shivering because someone came to kill you. Then what about your situation? Same, right? Now this object starts shivering. But garbage collector observed that shivering. Okay. Then immediately garbage collector is telling object, definitely I will kill you, because that's my job. If I'm not going to kill you, I'm not doing my job well. Compulsory I will kill you. But before killing, before destroying, I want to give you a small offer for you. What is that offer is? Do you have any last wish? Let me know. I will fulfill that last wish and then I will kill you. Like garbage collector gave a big bumper offer for this object. Sir, even in our jails also, for any criminal, assume that for any criminal, sir, hanging punishment decided. Then before hanging, the jail people are going to ask, "Ray, do you have any last wish?" Like so immediately the people will tell, "Yes, I want Italian cigar," or otherwise I want to talk with last my parents or my family members. Like sometimes maybe what we call the custody person is going to convey. Then the jail people is going to fulfill their requirement and then hanging is going to be happen. Are you getting right? Okay. Same way here also garbage collector is going to give bumper offer for this object. "Hey, do you have any last wish? Please let me know, so that I will fulfill that last wish. After that only I will destroy this object." Like a garbage collector is conveyed to the object. Then the object felt a bit happy. Then immediately what the object is going to convey? "Array, one network connection associated with me, one database connection associated with me." Are you getting? If you close these resources, then you can destroy me, no problem at all. Like object is going to convey to the garbage collector. Then immediately garbage collector what it will do is, so to perform those cleanup activities, garbage collector will call finalize method. Can you spell out what is the method? Finalize method. To perform which activities, right? Cleanup activities. To perform cleanup activities, garbage collector will call finalize method. Sir, once finalize method completed, cleanup activities completed, immediately garbage collector will destroy this object. Are you getting? Immediately garbage collector will destroy this object. Remember this one, sir. So who is calling finalize method? Respond. Who is calling finalize method? Garbage collector is calling finalize method. When garbage collector calls finalize method? Just before destroying an object. Sir, for which purpose garbage collector calls finalize method? To perform cleanup activities. Are you getting? So let me combine all these things in a single line. So just before destroying an object, garbage collector calls finalize method to perform cleanup activities. Is it clear for all of you, right? So if any person is asking about what is the purpose of finalize method, garbage collector will call finalize method to perform cleanup activities just before destroying an object. Once a finalize method completed, immediately garbage collector will destroy this object. Is it clear for all of you, right? Okay, well sir, can you please tell what is the difference between final, finally, finalize? Final is a modifier applicable for classes, methods, variable. If a class declared as the final, you can't create child class. If a method declared as the final, you can't override that method in the child class. If a variable declared as the final, it will become constant, we can't change its values. Next, finally is a block associated with the try catch. The main purpose of finally block is to maintain cleanup code. To maintain which codes are? Cleanup code. That is the purpose of finally block. Okay. Next, the speciality of finally block is, what is the speciality? Finally block will be executed always, irrespective of whether exception raised, not raised, handled or not handled. In any case, my finally block will be executed always. That's all. What about finalize? Finalize is a method. Is always called by garbage collector, just before destroying an object to perform cleanup activities. Once finalize method completed, automatically garbage collector will destroy object. Clear, right? Okay, well sir, now I have one small doubt. What is my doubt is, can you please tell what is the purpose of finally block? Respond. What is the purpose of finally block? To maintain cleanup code or to perform cleanup activities. What is the purpose of finalize method? To perform cleanup activities. Then what is the difference between finally cleanup, finalize cleanup? Sir, it's a very important, sir. What is the difference between finally cleanup and finalize cleanup? It is a very important point. Sir, observe. Do you know both meant for cleanup only? Even similarity is there in the terminology finalize, finally, but concepts are different, but context is the different. Best example, auto driver is there. We have three-wheeler auto driver. The person who is going to drive auto is called auto driver. Next, device driver is there. Sir, device driver is a software which is responsible to run hardware devices. Are you getting right? Hardware device. So the corresponding software driver we have to install. Device driver is the software related word. Auto driver is nothing but human being, which is, sir, both are drivers only. Can I use both are same? No, both are different. Same way, sir, finalize cleanup, both are different, sir. Where is the difference? Very simple, sir. Observe carefully. Here, within the try block, I open some resources. Now, sir, finally is the responsible to perform cleanup code, to close the resources which are happened at the part of try block. Are you getting? If any resource which is open, like database connection, network connection, at the part of try block, those resources where we have to close, sir, inside finally block. Finally block cleanup code meant for resources open at the part of try block. Remember that. Okay. So next, I have object is there. I have an object. No try catch finally. Object is there. So just before destroying an object, if any resources associated with this object, I want to close. If any resources associated with this object, I want to close. To perform such type of cleanup, object related cleanup activities, we require to go for finalize method. Are you getting? So finalize method meant for object related cleanup activities. Next, finally block meant for try block open the resources cleanup activities. Both are different terminology. Even, sir, cleanup is the same. Are you getting the point, right? Okay, that's all. This is the most valuable, very important question for the interview room, sir. What is the difference between finally, finalize? If any person is asking this question in the interview room, give left and right to that person. I hope it's a very clear for you people, right?